Uh-oh, not you not being able to see us.
What?
Before I say good morning, I have to click on this opera tab and keep it open in order for people to see us on Streamlabs. Anywho, good morning and welcome everyone to another stream. I have Brittany here, aka Coach by Nicole, and we're going to be chatting about some stuff today. If you are catching us live on this Twitch stream, Jones is first in the chat, but he's going to immediately fall back asleep. If you're catching us live on this Twitch stream, Spuddy, so done with you. If you're catching us live on this Twitch stream, please feel free to contribute in the chat. We appreciate everything, agreements, disagreements, all that jazz. And if you're catching this replay on Twitch, please leave us how you claim something on your stream. She in the stream and in the chat. Uh,
Right.
if you are catching this replay on YouTube, please feel free to contribute. Leave your thoughts, comments, opinions, agreements, disagreements, etc. in the comment section on YouTube. Also, if you're new here, this is going to play like a video podcast. So don't feel pressured to have this video up visually. We are just speaking to each other. What you really want is the audio. So go about your day, start your morning drive, do some chores, what have you. Pop us in your ear and just enjoy the conversation. So today, Brittany and I are going to speak about... Wait, did I change it? Okay, cool. Today, B and I are going to talk about boundaries and step-by-step how to set them. So first and foremost, B, I want to go to you and ask you... He said, good morning. I want to ask you, if you could give us your definition of what boundaries are.
Mm. So for me, my boundaries are, well, boundaries to me are setting limits for people to cross, even if they're family,
Mm-hmm.
friends, longtime friends. It don't matter who it is. Setting that mark to, don't cross this mark. It's nothing wrong with having boundaries for any and everybody, because sometimes people will try to run over you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, especially if you have a big heart and you're super nice and kind and they think you quiet, people
Right.
will push your buttons, try to push your limits. And for me, I have a friend, and I have, at first I was like, okay, that's just who he is. That's the type of person he is. He's just gonna do what he want to do anyways. But it took me a long time to be like, okay, it's not okay for your best friend to talk to you this way. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if, he's more of a brother to you or anything. It don't matter who it is. Like, it took me a long time to realize that I'm gonna have to set some boundaries for that person. So, um, but once I did, oh, and he realized that I wasn't taking no mess. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, okay, like you was for real, for real." And so now he's like, he'll start saying something and then he'll just stop talking, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's working,"
I love that.
because
I love that.
like not to say certain things to me. Like I remember and he has a issue that he's dealing with too as well. So, um he's in the military, and that already holds a lot of trauma in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, he's struggling with alcohol,
Mm.
or whatever. So um but he just used to talk to me any kind of way. Like, he would ask me, like, what's going on with your stomach? You look like you pregnant. Like, who you sleeping with? That wait. And like the first time he said it, I was like, look, I don't appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
asking me if I am, like, if I don't tell you, it's none of your business.
Right.
But if I tell you that I'm not,
Hi, Spud.
and you still bring it up,
Hey,
I'm
Jones.
like, at that point, it's it's rude.
Hi, Jones.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've told you a million times that I'm not, and to
Hi,
not
Jones.
ask me anymore. Like, it is what it is. I got a gut. So
Jones.
what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Moving
Spud is
on.
in my business.
But yeah,
Jones,
I
can you
ended
hear
up
me?
having to get out of character to make him understand. And sometimes I do not like getting out of character, or reverting back to your old ways, because it's so stressful.
It
It's like
is.
it put a lot of weight on you to be like, I went through all this progress in my journey to get more, be more positive, or you know like to talk to people how I want to be talked to, and then here come your best friend from back in the day,
Right.
like y'all used to talk bad to each other, do your mama jokes and all this, and then
Mm-hmm.
here they go say one thing, and you have to get
Good
back
morning,
on their
George.
level, and I'm like,
Okay.
no more.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's to a point where either you meet me where I'm at, or you know, I don't have any time for it. Like I'm about growing. I don't want to have to keep dipping back into the past and all that other stuff. Like it's too much. So our friendship has evolved since I set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
He know how to speak to me. Like sometimes it's hard for him to remember, like, okay, I can't talk to Brittany the way that I talk to my other friends. So
Mm.
he have to come correct when he comes to me. So
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
And I love that example because it took me a while to kind of really understand what boundaries were, because initially they feel, it sounds restrictive. It sounds like you are forcing people to behave a certain way around you, and in reality, you are setting ground rules for what you will and won't tolerate from
Hmm.
people, right? So you told him, you set the boundary as far as your expectation of he
A
what you will,
friend is like
yeah,
what I
and
want from a friend.
yes, and what
Exactly.
you will and won't accept from him. And
Hmm.
the example that you gave was also great, because I feel that people who have that title of friend often feel like they are immune to boundaries,
Hmm.
and they can kind of just brush it off as, oh, that's just the way I am. When
Hmm.
in reality, it's like, no, the way that you are and the way that you, I'm not trying to change you as a person. I want to let you know what I won't tolerate from you. You can
Exactly.
be like this, like you said, you could be like this with everybody else in your life, but if you're like this with me, we're going to have a problem. And one of the biggest things that I see my clients struggle with is the consequence part of boundaries.
Hmm.
They'll do well with communicating to the person what the boundary is and things like that. Joan said, the way you are sucks. Tell them straight up, you're a terrible person. Uh, they'll do a good job at saying, I don't want you to speak to me this way. I don't want you to comment on my body. I don't want you to ABC, right? But then once the person does it again, if the person does it, when the person does it again, because let's be honest, habits are difficult to break. We need constant reminding. But what will help you break a habit real quick is having a consequence. And again, people kind of interpret this as an ultimatum. You
Hmm.
know, if you continue to speak to me this way, or if you speak to me this way again, I won't talk to you for a week. Will, whatever the consequence is, but the consequence has to be followed through. And
Hmm.
that's the part where a lot of people struggle, because they think, oh, well, everybody makes mistakes. Oh, well, this, oh, well, that. The biggest issue with that is, I can almost guarantee this is not the first time you told this person that you didn't appreciate what they did, what they said, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, we
Hmm.
know that these conversations have happened before. The primary thing that's different is the consequence. The
Hmm.
fact that now you're saying, if you do this again, here's what I will do. Here's how I will limit your access to me. I'm not going
Hmm.
to just continue to allow you to come over every day, or text me every day, or call me every day, if you can't even honor the fact that I don't want you to speak to me this way.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
I'm so quick with, he already know, like I'll say it so many times, but he'll blame the alcohol and blaming that he don't remember what he said to me, and then after I stop talking to him, I won't answer no text message, I no FaceTime, like I'm cutting off all access to me, and I be serious. They'll be
Right.
like, well, I don't know what I did anymore. I'm like, that's your problem. That's for you
Right.
to figure out. And when I decide to start back talking to you, I may remind you of what you said to me so you'll know not to say
Mm-hmm.
it again. But I don't say anything. And sometimes it'll be weeks, sometimes it'll be months. One time it was like a year or two.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's But I told him this last time, like I can't keep doing the back and forth. So either you get your stuff together, like I see so much in him, and I do that with everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
especially since we've been friends for so long. It's been like over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm like, I see all of this potential, and um I know that he can be better, he can
Mm-hmm.
do better, but it's like he do for everybody else, and then he do for himself last, and by that time he's in a bad, spot, or it's hard for him to get back on his feet. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to start cutting people off. It don't matter who they are, if they're blood relative or not. Like you got to let them go, because they're dragging you down, and then when you're down, nobody want to help you, you
Mm-hmm.
know so it I told him, I was like, I can't keep doing this. I was like, look, I'm coaching you for free,
Right.
and you giving me the hardest time. Like, come on.
That part. And what you said was really crucial, and I feel that often either the length of the relationship or the type of relationship causes it to be really difficult for people to set boundaries. For example, if it's someone who they believe is, good morning, Fergie, by the way. Fergie's here, y'all. Fergie in the chat. Good morning, my love. If someone is in a position of power, and
Mm-hmm.
that could be an actual position of power, like our direct supervisor at work, or someone who we perceive is in a position of power, like a parent or, an aunt or someone like that, because that's what our society has kind of taught us, is that if people are older than us or our elders or whatever, they are in a position of power to some extent. Or, as I mentioned, the length of the relationship. So, I mean, right now, I feel so. I have mixed feelings about it, but my husband he's a wonderful employee, point blank, period. And he does a lot for his job. But I feel like a relationship with a company that you work for is often one of the most imbalanced relationships in the world, because we are really pushed to believe that we need to give it our all. 100% of the time we need to be at 100%, capacity or work level or whatever. And what we get in return is not nearly, it's so frustrating. And of course, me, because I'm his wife, I want to go in there and like save him. But I also want to go in there and be like, look, this is how you run a business. Like, I need y'all to understand that you can't just keep running people ragged and then ask them to do more and not pay them more. Because it goes so much more. It goes farther than beyond. It goes farther than just pay. It's
Mm-hmm.
about not being worked to the bone every single day. Because if your employees are literally working to the bone, why would they stay working for you? Why
Exactly.
wouldn't they go somewhere else? And if you value a person, then you find ways to treat that person better. That could be, excuse me, getting this person a partner, so that while they're working or while they're doing whatever, they have support. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like splitting the workload. Anyways, but that can be one of the most difficult places to set boundaries, because there's such a quote unquote division of power or imbalance of power. We don't feel like we can give a consequence, right? We don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like we can say, if you don't make this change by this day and time, I'm gonna quit, or I'm gonna, I don't know, um, I've been seeing this thing going around called silent quitting,
Oh.
which is where employees essentially scale back what they're doing, like scale all the way back to the bare minimum. Like
Oh,
they just, yes, they
that's me.
basically, right, they basically just do exactly what they're being paid to do. They're not doing any more extra stuff. They're not staying late. They're not coming in early. They're
I'm not
taking all
about to
of their
let
breaks.
nobody know I know more than what I know.
Right.
uh,
So, and of course, people in corporate America are like in an uproar. And I'm thinking, but why does this even have to happen? Y'all are not looking at the cause of this. Y'all are just trying to figure out, well, how can we stop people from doing this? Fix the workplace situation. Do
right.
what you need to do. Now, this turned into a whole other conversation. But anywho, said all that to say, it can feel difficult to set boundaries in the workplace. But the honest truth is you can. You
Mhm.
can limit your supervisor, manager, co-workers. You can limit their access to you. You can
Mhm.
limit their communication with you or to you or with you. Um, you can tell people, and again, boundaries are about what you're going to do, not about what the other person is going to do. The other person is going to be themselves, and
Yep.
you can't control their actions, but what you can control is how you respond. For example, if you have a job that is, or even a friend or a parent or whoever that is constantly calling you, for work, it would be like outside work hours.
Yep.
You
Oh,
could,
that was a big one for me. I
right?
let my manager know, and then I knew her before we
Mm,
start. She was my manager, so
mm-hmm.
that kind of caused a problem
It added
because
to it,
I
right?
yeah, I knew her. She was friends with my mom, and then when she got this new position,
Mm-hmm.
she just went into this whole nother mode, right? But she used to text my phone before
Yes.
work hours, telling I was like, hold up, first of all, my shift starts at 8 and you know where my usual spot is. You better call me on that office phone,
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm
Absolutely.
doing. And then I was pregnant at this time. Oh my goodness. But oh they did not like me when I was pregnant.
Right.
I set the boundary social. Oh, they was mad. I was like,
They
oh
get
no,
so
baby.
upset.
Don't you don't pay my cell phone bill, so don't text me on it.
Not
Okay.
only that, but my it clearly says my birthday starts at 8. And then my favorite part is they try to blame it on, well, you must not really care about this job.
Mm,
And you can reverse it. You must not really care about your employees or their mental health. You must not
right.
really care about the fact that I have an entire life outside of the 8 hours that I'm here. In all honesty, I spend way too much time here anyway,
Mhm.
but we're not gonna get into that. But if someone is putting you in the situation, like they did for Brittany, again, you set that boundary with, I'm not going to answer these calls. Actually, I'm not going to answer calls on my cell phone, period. The fact that you even have my cell phone number is a luxury.
It sure
Okay?
is.
Now, when I worked at Enterprise Rent a Car, it was kind of necessary because we were out of the office so often doing
Yeah.
just tons of stuff that they needed to be able to communicate with us, during work hours. We were still at work, but we might be, picking up a customer from a body shop. We were just around. So that part I understood, but the coming in early, no, no. The calling me on my cell phone outside of these hours or even on your lunch break, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
No, no. And again, you have to remember that boundaries are set by you telling the person, you can call me, but I won't answer. It's about what you are going to do. You can't, you can ask the person not to call you, but then if they do call you, what are you going to do? Are you going to answer? And be like, I told you not to call me. No, you just don't answer. You just don't
Right.
answer. Boundaries are about how you are going to respond to that person's behavior. And Joan said, making me miss working at Five Below. Why? Why you miss working there? Um, but yeah, so another kind of boundary violation when it comes to the workplace is giving you new work. And oftentimes they don't exactly ask you, they just tell you you're going to be doing this. You're going to be closing now. And I really want people to get into the practice of setting the boundary there by saying, I hear you asking me to add another task or add another whatever. When will we be discussing my increase in compensation? Because if it's not happening immediately after you tell me what I need to do, I'm not doing it. Or a discussion about an increase in compensation needs to happen before I take on this new task, before I
Right.
even start doing it. Good morning, Bro Shocks. How you feeling, love? Um, but we need to get more accustomed to taking more control of our time and our energy and of course our finances in the workplace.
Mhm.
When it comes to family members and friends, just because you've been friends with someone or just because they're your parent or your aunt does not mean that you have to engage with them or talk with them or
Or give
let
them
them call you.
complete access to your energy and your mental health. It's a no.
Exactly. Exactly. Just because you've known someone for 10 years or again, they're your aunt or they're your blood relative, that means nothing. It's all about the way that they make you feel and the way that they speak to you.
Mhm.
Um, so B, tell us a little bit more about, kind of boundaries that you've had to set with family members or longtime friends.
Oh, um, okay. So since I already told one about a friend, I'll go to the family members, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was younger, I was so big on family and, trying to surround myself with my cousins because they were more my age.
Mm-hmm.
I had, have a sibling. I don't know how to put it, but my older sister, she was handicapped. So because my parents worked as much as they did, she was in a rehabilitation center or whatever. So she wasn't at home with us, right? But you know, most of my classmates didn't know I had a sibling, but my cousins did. Of course, they family. So
Mm-hmm.
I would surround myself with my families, my cousins, and they used to bully me. Like
Mm.
they used to bully me so bad, and I was like, okay, but I want them to, and I see it in my son all the time. I want them to love me. I want them to like me,
Yes.
you
Oh.
know. And I used to give away all my stuff. Like I didn't care what it was, if our family members need to stay with us, I would give them my room, my bed. I'm doing all this, and I was like, okay, these little B words really do not do not value me at all. And it took for
Right.
one of um one of my cousins, she moved in with us on our like in our senior year, towards the end of our senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it took for her to like, she never voiced or said anything, that she didn't like me or whatever, but she wrote in a journal all this stuff about how she didn't like me and all this other stuff, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, and you just left that out for my mom, or
Right.
anybody to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? After we graduate, forget all of y'all. Like I told them
Right.
all off. I was like, I refused, and it took me a long time. I was like, okay, I'm old enough now, but my cousin, one of them, she was always known for being, the pretty girl and
Mm-hmm.
getting all the attention when she was younger. And she was like, "Yeah, you really told us off. You said F all of us." And I was like, "I absolutely did."
Right.
Like, I
Right.
don't care. I don't care that, my dad is your uncle. I don't care that we have the same last name. I don't care nothing about none of that.
None
I
of
was
it.
like, y'all did not deserve my love, attention, my energy. And it I don't know what clicked over me, but I was just like, if family got to be like this, I don't want it. Like, just
Absolutely.
I'll pick my family at this point, cause oh my goodness. But yeah, setting those boundaries and letting them know, and they used to step over them all the time. I'd be like, look, I do not like being called this nickname. I will not say
Mm-hmm.
it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like being called this nickname, and they would do it on purpose. I'm
Mm.
like, okay. So whenever they
That's
spoke, I just pretend like I did not hear them. You
right.
know, like, I'll get to looking
Exactly.
around. Oh, they started hating me then. I'm like,
I love it.
I hear something.
Somebody's saying something to somebody, but they ain't talking to me. I wonder who they.
Right,
Wonder who
I
they
hear
talking to.
something. I
Who they
don't know.
talking to?
Must have been a bird. Oh,
Right.
they will be so mad. Be so
Oh, I
mad.
love it so much, and it's true. Like you said, if this is family, I don't want it. You
Hmm.
know, and we are wrapping up this holiday season, and I can only imagine how many people had to kind of grit their teeth and bear it during this holiday season, interacting with their family members who they maybe didn't want to. And I really do want people to get more used to just saying no. Like, I'm not gonna go to that Christmas party. I'm not
Right.
gonna go to that Thanksgiving dinner because a number of you do not respect me as a person. And the
Exactly.
worst part is, like, if me and B are out somewhere and someone says something to her, I'm gonna be like, yo, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, I'm gonna say something for her, even though I know she can
Exactly.
say it for herself, but I'm gonna be right there backing her up. And if she wants to leave, I'm like, we out.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna be
Bye.
like, no, baby, let's give them another chance. They didn't mean it. They didn't mean it. It's just, just they didn't have ill
Give them a
intentions.
chance.
Give them a chance.
Everybody deserves a second chance. No, they
No,
had a
they
second,
really
a
don't.
third, a fourth. No, to get their stuff together.
Right. So
And that,
me asking you not to do that then you just did it again. That's the second chance. No,
mhm, right.
no, absolutely not. Fergie says, I do that to people who don't pronounce my first name correctly after telling them, please say it correctly.
Please.
Baby girl, the name struggle is real. My name has given me strife my entire life. And I really wish, you know what, I should have done that, because I remember in like 7th grade, maybe. Excuse me. My name is Doña Taylor, right? My last name is Taylor. So I'm, you know, when attendance gets called, I'm towards the end. I had this friend named Sonia, where her last name was Ayon or Ion. So she's like at the top, right? Our names are spelled exactly the same, except hers is an S and mine is a D. Exactly the same. Sonia, Donia, no problem. Every single time people would get to my name, sometimes they didn't even try. They'd be like, last name Taylor. I'm like, it's 5 letters, y'all.
Right.
There's no question mark in there. There's not like a geometric symbol in the middle. What? And so I would tell them how to say it, and they would still pronounce it correctly. And I'm thinking to myself, how does this work? You know, how do you tell someone how to say something? Go ahead and change your clothes, babe. How do you tell someone how to say something, and then they hear you, and they say it correctly? My first name is 1 syllable, 5 letters. Oh, 1 syllable. For some reason, that threw me. Bro, I was like, what? And I understand, which this is something I've kind of come to learn, as far as people do have a difficult time pronouncing things. I get that. So I say Doña. They say Doña. I say no. Doña. They say Doña. I say no. No, I don't. No. Just call me D. It's fine. Just stick to 1 letter. It's fine. But I definitely should have been more adamant about not responding if they don't say my name correctly. Because if you could say Sonia, you could say Doña. Like, it's very, very simple. And, you know, even to this day, oh, hi, baby boy. Oh, hello.
Oh, my last name get butchered all the time, too.
How? It's phonetically so easy. Like, letters in the right spot. Like, I don't... And I know that English is hard. Like, I get that, y'all. English is a difficult language. There's so many rules in English that don't make sense. They don't translate to other languages. I totally get that. But for anyone watching this, I want y'all to keep that same energy. If someone does not say your name correctly, don't respond. Just don't respond. Because if someone can say, what's that dude's name? He's like a therapist or something. His last name is like Dostoevsky or something like that. I can't think. We learned about him in school. Hey, yo, Raylene is here. Welcome in, Raylene. How you feeling today, my love? If they can say his name, they can say our name. But yeah, everybody, if you see in this, if someone says your name incorrectly, and they've already been corrected, don't answer. My name is never said correctly. I'm going to start ignoring people. You absolutely should, Jones. Your name ain't hard either.
Right.
And Fergie says, I had a family friend who said, I know how your name is pronounced. I'm just going to say it how I want to say it. Oh, no. See, those people can get a boot to the chest. They can absolutely get a boot to the chest. I am not here for anybody who's going to purposefully say my name incorrectly. And then it's almost like, you've had that too, Raylene? I was like, oh, okay. So now I ignore her. It's the audacity for me. It really is. I just don't understand why people are so... Well, you know what? I do know why people have so much audacity. Because audacity is fueled... Oh, baby spud. Audacity is fueled by people not being held accountable for their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being called Jonesy. Like, who added the damn Y? Jones, we go fight. We gon' fight. I did. It just rolls off the tongue. I mean, the good thing is that's not your first name. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if it was your first name. Raylene says, I just let people call me whatever. I don't even care anymore. Oh, my name's Aisha, and they 100% call me different names like Alicia. Where did the L come from?
Oh my goodness.
See, and that's I think that's the only reason why people should get like one chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, it's Aisha. Oh, okay, cool. Because I've done that before. Being a substitute teacher, I've definitely went down a roll sheet, and you're trying to read these children's names quickly, And so your mind goes to whatever like it looks like, you know. But if they tell me, and I tell them full disclosure, because I tell them what my first name is, and I say, hey, this is my name. I've been struggling with it my whole life. I still do every day. I said, let me know if I pronounce your name incorrectly, and they will. But I give them that disclosure because I'm not, you know, I'm a human, you know. The advice was ignore them. I'm gonna stick to what the coaches said. Jones, you want me to say your first name on stream? Because we could do that. Or you want me to say your doppelganger name that we created for you? You let me know. I got you. Anywho, we got off track. No. The tangent is real. Oh, the yawn. Oh, the yawn, baby boy. Yeah. That's rude. Okay, friends. Said all that to say, if someone is saying your name incorrectly, you correct them once, and that's it. After that, it's intentional. That's how I feel. After the first correction, they still say it wrong. It's intentional. Like that has to be it. But okay, so we talked about we're supposed to be given steps. I probably should have had something to write these down. Right? So step 1 is to, of course, you know, have a full understanding of what a boundary is, right? So
what makes you uncomfortable? What, you know, triggers trauma or something of the sort? You know, that's if someone makes you feel that way, you need to set a boundary so they won't.
Right. And understand that there's also multiple different types of boundaries. There's physical boundaries, like if you don't like being touched, that's a boundary. There's time boundaries, where people will talk to you for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours with complete disregard of your time. There are, which I guess the physical boundary will also be like space, like, you know, people just get too close to you or something like that. And then there's like, I looked this up one time. I would say like emotional boundaries, you know, where you are telling someone something based on the way that, what you need, baby girl? It's downstairs. I guess it would be emotional boundary, right? Like how something makes you feel.
Yeah, like if they make you feel upset, or, you know, like I said, they trigger a bad memory, or, you know, something that was traumatizing for you. Oh, look at the cute face.
Look at the trousers.
Okay. It's like I know, right? They're so cute. It's like a squirrel moment. Squirrel, baby.
Right.
But yeah, anything that makes you sad or depressed, or, you know, any of that, scared, you know.
Absolutely. Wait, Raylene says something. Hold on.
I know, right? I was trying to scroll up too.
Raylene said
any of the emotions that are not positive. Put it that way. Emotional boundaries.
Right. Okay, Raylene said, how do you even correct them the first time? I haven't done that in years. Raylene! Baby boo! It's essential. And then, I love the background, like you're in a cafe together. I know, right? We literally just did this because I moved my camera to the top of my screen. And so you can see, like, my whole room. And it is not cohesive. But thank you. So me and Spud decided on this little cafe background here on what are we on? We're on Google Meet. Which is dope because it was cool that we could see each other's backgrounds. Like we didn't have to submit it or whatever. It was really dope. Anywho, Fergie said the thing I don't understand. Oh, bless you. You got boogies? No. Fergie said the thing I don't understand about people not respecting boundaries is when they get upset at you for setting boundaries. Yes. So, what happened? Essentially, the reason why people get upset with you for setting boundaries is because now you're limiting their access to you, or you're making them change their behavior around you. You are telling them what you will and won't accept from them, and that can be upsetting for someone who's had free reign and just been able to do whatever for however many years or months or whatever. It could be upsetting when someone holds you accountable and says, yo, I don't like that. Right. It makes me feel like, yes. Excuse me? That wasn't my intention. I don't care what your
Right.
intention was. I'm telling you how it makes me feel. Are you listening? Are you
But you
listening?
haven't said anything for so many years. I'm saying something now.
There you go. There you go. And that was my next point.
Mhm.
Your boundaries, again, just like B said, I'm saying something now. Oh, hello. And also, your boundaries can change because maybe in, I don't know, June or July, I'm cool with people coming over my house at any time. Y'all can stop by. I'm on summer vacation. My kids are out of school. We here. We living. Family come through. However, when that school year starts, you pop up at my house, you better bring money. Like, don't you dare. You know what I mean? It is no problem for your boundaries to not only change with people, and it can change at the time of the year. It don't even matter.
Mhm.
Or just as you grow, you know, like B said, oh, well, you haven't said anything for so long. I'm saying something now. And you need to just respect it moving forward, that I'm saying something now, and this is what it's going to be moving forward. And it might change, but this is for sure at least going to be the baseline, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, Raylene said yes. The intention isn't the part of it. Isn't part of it. It's true, and I think that that's how people kind of try to save themselves, or remove the responsibility from themselves, is by saying, well, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. That's fine. What you meant to do is not what we're talking about here. We're
Right.
talking about what actually has happened. How it actually makes me feel. So, okay. So we talked about type of boundaries. We talked about boundaries being um, something that you are going to do, not what the other person's going to do. B, let's talk about consequences. So what are some consequences that you've used when people violate a boundary of yours?
Okay, so my first thing is I'm gonna give them a warning. I absolutely love the person I am now because I stand up for myself. Like when it comes to my
Mm-hmm.
child, I have absolutely no problem.
Right.
Okay. But when it comes to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I struggle with it for a little while, right?
Yeah.
So I used to let a lot of people fly with a lot of things. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'll if I feel in my body or like it I don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
when you don't like something or you have a gut
Yes.
feeling or it just make you feel some type of way that's not a positive good feeling, right?
Absolutely.
I'll give them a warning. Hey, that kind of hurt my feelings, or that made me feel like that brought up too many bad memories for me. Can we just try to avoid that?
Yeah.
It some people may feel like you need to talk about it, but to get over it, but that's not their decision. It's your
Exactly.
decision.
I
So
love that.
that's setting the boundary,
Mm-hmm.
telling them to omit the subject, the topic, whatever. Um, then if they continue to do it, like I'm gonna be like, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna limit the time of how much I talk to you. So if I know every time we talk for more than so long, and you always happen to bring up the subject or talk about a certain thing,
It's just a
or
background.
you get in this habit of feeling too comfortable, I know that okay, I need to start making our conversations way shorter. The next thing I do is I will, if they do it after that, do something after that, not respecting my boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cut them off.
Yeah.
It may be a week, it may be a month, but I'm cutting them off. I'm not talking to them, not giving them any of my time,
Mm-hmm.
energy, or any of that. Oh, God bless
Bless,
you.
bless you. Yes, I love that, and I love that you broke it down in stages. Because um, I feel like at the end of the day, that final consequence of just, not being around them anymore, like that has to be the final consequence. Sometimes it's going to be, more severe. Like maybe it starts off as, what's up, baby? Okay, if you're playing the game, I can't have you in here because it's going to be making noise.
Do anything about make it. I can't do
What do you mean? Let me see.
it.
Okay, try something else.
I guess it's
Okay,
time for
go
the
ahead, baby
kids
girl.
to be
Right,
active, right?
right. So we gonna wrap this up because we getting getting mommified around here. Look, even the baby. Okay, real quick. Fergie said, or saying, well, I don't understand why you don't like it now. Bruh, I told you at the beginning I didn't like it. What? Why do you need to understand? Just respect it. That's huge. Raylene said that's a good method. Fergie says, I agree. Raylene says, what if you feel a boundary has been broken, but you don't know what it is? Like a boundary has been... Stop, Papa. Like a boundary has been broken based on the way that you feel or the way that someone else has made you feel. You may have to kind of take some time to sit with it a little bit and get a little bit... what's the word? Like, yeah, I would encourage you to sit with it a little bit because yeah, because
it's all about the way that they make you feel or the subject make you feel. Like, if you don't like it, if it's not anything that's positive or motivating to you, you can set a boundary for that.
yeah, but you got to sit with it so you can communicate what it is that you want them to stop doing, or what it is that you will remove yourself when they do, if that makes sense. It can't just be like every time you speak to me, I'm gonna set a boundary.
Right, I know their voice is irritating. Like,
right,
I just want to. It's not that, but
maybe it's like a certain topic. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something specific. That way you can communicate to them. Because they also need to know what they're doing that's impacting you. They don't necessarily have to know why it's impacting you. But they need to know what it is so that they know not to do that. Because otherwise, that's just like someone ghosting you, essentially. They don't know what they did and they can't fix it. But you're just like, you're too much. I'm just going to wipe you off the face of the earth. And I mean...
Tell them what they did.
Yeah.
So they'll understand. Right.
I'm not even sure if we really gave steps.
I know.
But I mean, I feel like B, how you broke it down just now was perfect. Like, as far as the consequence part, because I really believe that that's what people have the most difficulty with, because we don't want to be seen, and we can have a whole nother conversation about being people pleasers. We don't want to be seen as mean or unlikable or unlovable or whatever. So a lot of times we tolerate a lot of stuff that we should not be tolerating. Point blank, period. You know what I mean? Are you all done, buddy? No? Okay. Well, you're going to wrap up this stream, y'all, because our children are childrening.
Yes.
People pleaser stream, please. We got you, boo. We absolutely got you. We got you. That'll be our topic for next Friday.
It's already
I'm excited.
Friday.
Yeah, today's Friday, buddy.
Oh, Granny's gonna pick me up.
Oh, not the face. No, don't tear it up.
My granny name is Jamie.
Oh.
Jones said I put mine out. Jones.
Shark said he said shark.
Thank you, love. All right, everybody in the chat, if you can hear my voice, please say bye, DJ, or see you later, DJ, because, yeah. But, B, I love you and I appreciate you as always. Must thank
Bye,
my
DJ.
art too. Thank
I
you,
was like,
girl.
wait, how did she just put all that in their hands?
Bye, DJ.
Right.
Bye.
Right.
Bye, Jones. Strelap's cat say bye.
It's so funny how DJ looks like he's like in a shadow. Come closer to me, DJ. Like he looks like...
See you later.
He vanished.
Bye,
Yeah, he looks like he's like so far away or something. He's standing right next to me. That's so funny. Anywho, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for chopping it up in the chat.
Everyone say bye.
Yes, everyone said bye to you. I will be back tomorrow for another stream, as always. My merch is here. My merch.
Yes.
Look, my merch is here. Choose You Before Life Starts Lifing. And if y'all are interested... Oopsie.
Which merch?
Hold on. I accidentally made us go away. If y'all are interested in purchasing anything from my shop, I deeply appreciate you. My birthday is next week, so buy something from me. It's Capricorn season, y'all. Buy something from me as a birthday gift. I appreciate you. Just do it. We love you. We'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, Spud will be there too. But
I'll see y'all in chat tomorrow.
Right.
But I'll be here next Friday.
Yes. Spuddy, you ain't gonna go nowhere, baby. But I'm gonna end this stream. Love y'all. And we will see you later. Bye.